it's your girl Rihanna Cachet, and thank you so much for tuning in. It's spring break right now for me, so I'm off of school for a week. I go back on Monday, March 15th. It is currently, what day is it? Wednesday, March 10th, I believe, and I have just been really productive with my time actually. I've been cooking a lot. I've been spending time with friends and family. I've also been doing some work because I don't want to be swamped with work when I come back to school. And I've also been working and door dashing to make extra cash while I'm on break. And that segues into what today's video is about. Today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys what to do with your paycheck every week and, you know, kind of just like a financial management video. So here's the first video of hopefully many. Let's get right into it. I have everything on my laptop over here, so I'm going to bring it over here so we can get into it. So right before we get into this video, I do want to do a little disclaimer. I am not an accountant. I am not a financial advisor. These are just some tips I picked up along the way watching a couple of YouTube channels. If you guys are interested in knowing what YouTube channels I like to binge watch when it comes to finances, I will link them down below in the description box. But yeah, I just picked up a few things. So I am using my platform to advertise and bring more awareness to financial literacy and getting your stuff in order at a young age. Now, also before we get into the video, for safety and security purposes, I'm not going to be using any of my personal information just because I don't like people clocking my, you know, paycheck and whatnot. So I made up a character just for the sake of this video. So our character's name is Renee. I'm actually going to start screen recording now so you guys can check out Renee and see how she looks. I made a little character. So here's Renee. Yeah, I made a little stick figure character to give her a little, you know, image. And I describe Renee as an 18-year-old full-time college student who pays $1,000 in tuition yearly, and a part-time minimum wage worker making $12.50 an hour and around $330 a week post-tax or net amount. Going to school online due to the pandemic. She also has other bills and expenses. Yeah, I know a lot of kids don't typically pay $1,000 a year. Tuition is a lot more. I know that is kind of a rarity. You can always, you know, change things around to fit your situation, but this is Renee's situation. And if you guys don't know what net and gross is, net is basically the amount you make after tax, whereas gross is the amount you make before tax. So Renee is making $330 after tax. Now I'm going to introduce the two main areas of income distribution, if you will. So when you get a debit card, which I've had a debit card since I was about 16, most banks will let you open up one at 16. Not most, some of them will. I know some of them will require like a cosigner, like a parent or guardian, but I was able to open mine at 16 because I had got a part-time job. And you can open a checking and a savings account. But pretty much what you can do with your checking account is you can make purchases, you can get direct deposits from your job, you can do auto pay through there. You know, it's just pretty much where your money goes when you get paid. It's what holds it unless you get actual checks or cash. And depending on what kind of account you have and what kind of bank you have, you can build interest on it. And you get other benefits from it. And then a savings account is just an account that holds your savings. You typically can't touch a savings account as much as the checking account. You can't just make a bunch of withdrawals and deposit. Well, you can make as many deposits as you want to, but you can't make a bunch of withdrawals or purchases using your savings account. I know the usual average is about 6 transactions total for a savings account. After you do 6 withdrawals, you can't withdraw anymore in 1 month. If you do, you get penalized for it. I don't know if they freeze your account or if you have to pay a certain fee or something, because I've never done, you know, more than my fair share of withdrawals. And I know that typically savings accounts build some type of interest on them. And again, depending on your bank, it depends on how much interest it is. And also, I guess, depends on how long you've been a client of theirs. I heard it builds after a certain period of time and how much you put in your savings account. Let's get into the categories of checking, or at least the categories that I use. So in this section here, we have checking. And the categories I have are bills, donations, food, fuel, necessities, and spending money. So bills are subscriptions, phone bills, car insurance, all types of stuff like that. And donations are when you give to the homeless people, or you give to an organization, or what's that called? Salvation Army or something. That is donations. Food is groceries, eating out. Fuel is obviously gas for your car. Necessities include things like body and hair products and shaving tools and all the other kind of like little stuff that you have to buy that you need. Renee, since she's 18, we're looking at it as if she's living at home with her parents. So she doesn't have to buy like cleaning supplies yet. She just really has to buy her own products. Spending money is money that you use to finance things like clothes or hanging out with friends, entertainment, stuff like that. So now that we've gotten into categories of checking, let's go into the categories of savings. So in savings we have car, and I put i.e. repairs, purchase, etc., which means like it needs, well, Renee in this situation has a car obviously because she pays for fuel, but this section in savings is particularly for if the car needs any repairs on it, as well as oil changes and things like that, or if she wants to buy a new car. Whenever you have a car, you should definitely have a portion of your savings going towards your car, because cars, a lot of repairs, a lot of maintenance, cars are a big responsibility, and you don't want to be that person who doesn't save up for things like repairs or oil changes or other things like that, and then it comes up and then you're not prepared and you have to take out money from other parts of your savings. Educational expenses is also under saving categories. Renee's in college, obviously. So educational expenses includes things like textbooks or highlighters, notebooks, things of that nature. And then emergency fund is what you use in case you didn't have a car savings, for example, and you had to do a car repair. Or you just, you fall on hard times, you're down bad, whatever the case may be. That is what emergency fund is for. And I typically heard the average for your emergency fund is about $2,500. And then once you reach the emergency fund goal, the cap, or if you will, you can take that out of your savings categories, which gives you more space to add more money to other categories. Life savings, of course, and we have travel and holidays, because this is Renee's character. She likes to travel a lot, and so this is for setting aside money so that she can travel more and buy gifts for the holidays and do stuff for herself on her birthday or whatever. So that's what that fund is for. Now let's go into amounts here. Now if you look at the checking or savings amount, you see weekly, monthly, yearly. This is basically off of preference, I guess. So I said Renee's gonna put $50 weekly into her bills, and like say $120 into her life savings. So her weekly checking categories add up to about $125, and her weekly savings categories add up to $205. Together that is $330. That is her weekly income. And then it will tell you how much that is going to add up monthly, how much that's going to add up yearly. Again, it's off of preference. If you feel like you spend a lot more money on food than you do necessities, you can definitely add more to there. Or if you don't spend as much in spending money, then you could definitely subtract that and put that somewhere else. But again, it's all off of preference and what you think not deserves, but be realistic with yourself and prioritize things, and try to be as realistic as possible. If you know that typically you spend about $150 in food a month, then you need to be adding the amount you need into that food budget so that you don't overspend it, if that makes sense. So I gave myself a scenario to kind of give you some perspective. So in this case, Renee wants to retire by the average 65 years with at least $500,000. So with this in mind, that is why I created the life savings of a weekly amount of $120, which is $480 monthly and $5,760 yearly. So her being 18, you're going to subtract 65 by 18 to get 47, and then she makes $5,760 a year times 47 years is not going to be enough. But it's going to be around $270-something thousand she saved up for, her life. However, that's considering if she set the same minimum wage for her entire life, which is not the plan, not the goal for any of us. You should want to do better. She's only 18, hopefully at 20 something or so she finds another greater paying job. But at this rate, at least she'll have a nice amount set aside before she finds those other jobs. So she'll already be a little bit ahead of the curve. Some people don't even start saving to the life savings until like 20 something, or they have kids. So at least thinking about it now and putting aside stuff now is going to prepare you for the future. Realistically, to reach Renee's goal in 47 years of retiring at 65, $500,000, she would need to put up about $205 a week. Yeah, so hopefully she gets paid more in the future so that she can be able to do that. But right now she can only afford to put up, what, $120 a week? So yeah. What Renee will need, or you guys in general, to be financially responsible and reach your goals. If you want an early retirement, you'll probably draw back on things like spending money, or thoroughly think of what qualifies as a necessity to increase life savings and investments. That is key. If you value certain things over other things, then you might not put as much into those categories. For example, in Renee's case, she values traveling a lot, so she puts a lot more into that than she does other categories. Here is a little question that you might come across when it comes to your weekly paycheck or income in general. What to do with unexpected, unplanned income. For instance, stimulus, interest on account, selling something, birthday money, etc. For me personally, I would section it into what categories you feel are falling behind or which need it the most. You really need to prioritize. Do you really need more spending money or food money when you could be setting aside more for bills or education? Like, for example, if you know that your bill fund is falling a little short and you know next month you're going to have to take something out of another category to make ends meet, then you maybe should put that extra stimulus money or whatever into that category so you never fall behind. So you're not living paycheck to paycheck, because living paycheck to paycheck really sucks. So in this scenario, the spending to income percentage is spending is at 38% while savings at 62%. A good rule of thumb is to have at least 30% of your income set aside for savings. So to calculate that, you're going to look at your weekly, or rather monthly amount you're putting aside for checkings and your monthly amount you're putting aside for savings. You're going to add those two numbers together, which for Renee in this situation is going to be $500 and $820. So you get a total of $1,320 she makes a month. And you're going to divide 500 by 1,320. You'll get 0.37887, yeah. And rounding that up, you get 38%, and yeah. That is how you calculate your percentage. And again, you want to make sure you're at least saving at least 30% every month, if not more. In this case, she's saving a lot more than 30%, which means she'll definitely reach her long-term goals a lot quicker than other people would who's not saving at 62%. I encourage you guys, if you're 16, 14, watch this video, whatever, to really just start thinking about things like that. If you don't have a trust fund, a college fund, or whatever, think about how I'm going to finance college. Think about, what do I do with my paychecks every week? Do I need to travel 3 times a year? Think about, is this job really paying enough for me to reach my goals, and things like that. Finances is just something you should always think about daily. So again, I do want to start doing more financial videos like this. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know, because if so, I could try to do financial videos at least once a month, maybe every other week or something. I really do enjoy them. Again, I will link my favorite financial advisors or financial YouTube videos down below, or channels rather. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this video was informational for you. I hope it helped a lot. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you take everything I say with a grain of salt, because a lot of people will take every word. Don't quote me exactly, you know. I want you guys to get financially literate if you're not already. Not just through me, but through research of other YouTubers, of actual accountants and economists. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Moral of the story is, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more. On that note, it's been fun. Bye. Strawberry kiss, 'cause nothing is sweet.